But rich people are so weird.
Yeah.
No offense. If you're rich and watching this,
Yeah, just keep listening.
just keep listening and give us some money.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like super rich people are. Don't you think we don't really have those in Denmark? But you probably right.
No, the rich Danish people like moved to Dubai years ago.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, you're listening to What Are You Doing in Denmark, the podcast that helps you make Denmark make sense. My name is Derek Hartman, and I've been living in Denmark since 2017.
Cool. I'm Annie Samples, and I've been living in Denmark since 2019. And we're here to help you make Denmark make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you already say that?
I think so, but
cool.
You
We're
know, why
going.
not reinforce it?
We can totally redo that.
No,
too.
that's keep it in.
My brain doesn't work so good.
Well, and part of the reason why is that it's summertime.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah. What a thing.
Yeah.
The weather.
The weather is not
Do you
helping.
feel like we're saying that about every season though? The weather.
I do feel like
Yeah.
we just find different ways to discuss the weather, and I never realized how you could do that so often
Yeah.
and so unironically.
And be so like it's so well received. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like everyone's like, yes, let's jive with this, you know?
But it really controls so much about life and
It does.
the news here. Like
Yeah,
so for example, and by the way, our topic today is we're talking about whether or not summer in Denmark sucks.
Yeah.
And we know that sometimes it does, and maybe that's harsh. Maybe
Yeah.
we're just clickbaiting you with that
Maybe.
title.
That's okay.
But that's what we did, so you're here now.
Yeah. Here we go.
But I do feel like weather is a big part of why sometimes summer in Denmark sucks.
Yeah.
And even it's always in the news. Like Roskilde Festival was recently.
Oh my gosh.
And all you saw on social media in the news and everything was like people's tents blowing away.
It looked
getting flooded. It
horrible,
looked
actually.
awful.
I was supposed to go, and I still am kind of sad that I didn't go because Charlie XCX and Caroline Polachek made like a surprise appearance. I know, I'm so jealous. But
I would have loved to see Charlie.
yeah, I was supposed. Oh my gosh, can you imagine Brat Summer?
Brat Summer.
I was supposed to be like working at like volunteer wise, which I don't think I could have like done. It was supposed to be like
How could
32
you
hours
focus
of
on
work.
that?
I couldn't get childcare, but then like looking at the social media coverage, I was shook. And then like obviously I wouldn't have been there like camping in the tents, but when I saw the conditions of some of these, have you done it before?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was just like these guys were just like sleeping in tents full of trash, and then when the storms came in, it was like blowing everywhere, and I was just like, that
Just
is
a trash bag in the
horrible.
wind.
And then I saw like one of my friends had a food stand there, and they were like showing the food hall during rush hour. It was like, I don't know. I have friends that got like COVID from it. Anyway, yeah. So I know that's kind of a little off topic, but like I feel like, yeah, when I told people I was going to Roskilde, they were like, oh my gosh, it's just like a pivotal Danish experience.
Yeah.
You have to go. It's going to be great. And looking at it, I'm like, maybe that's just like for the 15, 16-year-olds, you know, like.
Oh gosh, I know. I always wonder, like, I think I've aged out of sleeping in a tent.
Oh God, 1,000,000%.
We did. So my husband and I did a safari.
Oh, cute.
We did like an 18 to 39. Like that was the age range. It was sort of like a lower price point,
Okay.
but it was like, yeah, sleeping like on in tents and things like that. We're like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
Like, yeah, we used to go camping all the time, like in our 20s, and like we better do this now before COVID.
Yeah.
And quickly we realized, like, no, sleeping on a tent, like it's just different when you're older.
I haven't even tried. I'll be so honest with you. I have never been camping in a tent.
Okay, I like he was an Eagle Scout. I used to work at a summer camp.
Cute.
Like, yeah, I was so like we both
Oh,
were
so
like
you were
camping.
primed and ready.
Yeah, like we definitely were like, yeah, the camping and tent, that's great. And like we were just not like every time that there was a stop, because a few of them it was like, you know, you have to get even in like South Africa, Botswana, like Zimbabwe,
Whoa, that's
like
cool.
yeah, it was really a great experience.
Yeah.
But you know, we'd have to go to these places to camp, and some of them had like you could upgrade for like €30 to sleep in like a hut, or once it was like even at a hotel, and we were like, we'll upgrade
I could
every single
definitely-
time, and then we were like, oh man, are we pathetic?
No.
So if
not at all.
Roskilde had like a cabin.
And I think they do have options
Okay.
like that. I think they do have options like that. I need to get like the VIP treatment. And also I think it'd be so fun. I don't need to get the VIP treatment.
Yeah, I kind of do. I want to go glamping at Roskilde Festival.
That'd be cool. And like
sign me up for
somehow
that.
have like perfect vision to see Charlie XCX and Caroline Polachek without being in the crowds. No, actually I did go to CopenHell.
Yeah.
And that I was like fully there in the crowds and I actually had so much fun.
Yeah, I loved seeing your posts from there.
That was, have you tried it before?
I've never been to CopenHell, no.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think like I'm not big like heavy metal, but then I
Love
saw
that.
some of the bands that were there and I'm
Not
like, okay, that's
totally
not who I
heavy
would
metal.
think of as
Right,
like heavy
right.
metal, like Offspring.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit,
Yeah. Who else did I see that I was like, this is an interesting fit? Well, you know, I saw Corey Taylor. He is the lead singer of Slipknot. And I guess, I don't know if that's really heavy metal, but I can get down with some heavy metal, but mostly, you know, I'm an alternative music girly. I would not consider myself like a metalhead. But that was another thing when I told people I was going, they were like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, it's so nice there. And I was like,
I've heard too that like the vibe and the crowd are just the nicest people.
Oh my gosh,
at
so nice.
CopenHell.
So I was like in the pit for, well, not like in the pit, but close to the pit for Limp Bizkit. And then, you know, it got like kind of rowdy. And like these guys, like this one guy was like making sure that I was like fully protected the whole time. Wasn't being creepy, nothing like that. And then at the end, he was like, you good? And I was like, yeah, thank you. Just like, and that was it. Like,
I heard that like if somebody falls, like they immediately make like a safety ring around them
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like let them get up. I mean,
so
that's
nice.
better than a lot of
Not my
concerts and things.
experience going to concerts in the US personally would be like trample zone. So, but that was really fun. I would say that that's about the extent of it for my festival situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so summer festivals seem like summer music festivals seem to be a big pro for a lot of people in Denmark. Have you tried any of them?
And there's a lot of them. No, actually,
Yeah,
I feel
there's a lot.
I feel really. I feel like this is something that I am disappointed in myself for missing out on and never doing because there's so many. I feel like almost and throughout the summer, it's not just you know you got Copenhagen, Roskilde. Is it
Tinderbox?
Tinderbox, like so many.
There's
of
so
these
many.
festivals.
Brooke will know. We're having Brooke on in a couple weeks, and she'll know.
Yes.
But there's so many, and I felt so. I used to go to so many music festivals in the U.S. when I was a kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to have this experience. And I just after 2 days at CopenHell, I was like, I'm too old for this. Actually,
I always did Lollapalooza, Warped Tour.
Oh, cool.
I'm dating myself now, but
for
but
sure.
I was always
love
into
it.
festivals. I had like a very strong like post-punk era. So
for sure. Absolutely.
that was
so
me
Warped
and my,
Tour was our jam.
Yeah, Warped Tour in my Pacific Sunwear.
Yes.
Like, outfit
for sure. Absolutely. That's very iconic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got those. So maybe that's a
music
pro for some people.
Are great here.
Great. They
There's
seem
a lot
great.
of cultural
Great
events.
vibes.
Yeah.
Lots of cultural events. What else do they do? I don't know.
So I think that's even like the Danish celebrations for Midsummer, like, you know, Samhain. Like there's a lot of, whether it's like Danish cultural events or just pop cultural events like music festivals.
Yeah.
There is a lot to do in the summer. So I think that's a pro.
Yeah.
So that doesn't suck, but the weather is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just so hit or miss. And maybe I am just misinformed, or I don't know what happened. I would say like the first 2 summers we were here were like magical, magnificent, like maybe a couple days of rain. That was it. Yeah. And then the past couple years, it's been a little different. It's been, I feel like I remember last year specifically just raining the entire time. And this summer, it's not looking so good.
No, it's mostly been rain.
Yeah. So I'm a little nervous. I'm still waiting for like, you know, what week are we in? 28?
It's hard to say.
Who could say? Who could say? But I'm like trying to hold out for like, I feel like 29, 30, 31 are like the pivotal Danish summer weeks. And I'm like, will it show out for us, you know? But I remember like maybe it was 2 years ago actually. So maybe it's been the past 3 years that the weather sucked. Yeah, it was like right after my daughter was born. My husband just got laid off. We were like I had like a couple-month-old baby. We were just, really going through it. And we've got a summer house finally. First of all, being like an immigrant mom, I was so stupid that I scheduled the summer house unknowingly, like for the first days of school. Love that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oops.
Why is it so inexpensive this week?
And then also it rained and like torrential wind and rain.
Hurricane force.
Yeah. So yeah, there are so many great beaches, summer houses, and even, I don't know, we went recently in June to Vejby and like Tisvilde. Yeah, have you tried it?
No.
So beautiful, but it's really hit or miss with the weather. And so basically I'm wondering, like, is this normal Danish summer? Are we having bad luck the past couple years?
I think that overall we can probably surmise, even though we have some other aspects to discuss that Danish summer really is so contingent on the weather. And maybe that's why like you have to decide for yourself if it sucks or not.
Yeah.
I think it has every opportunity to be wonderful. I always tell people when you visit Denmark that you can come every week of the year and it's like a completely different destination.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Oh my gosh.
Obviously from season to season, I think it's wonderful at Christmas. I think, you kind of have like that shit winter in like January and February, but it's great in the spring. It's great in the summer. And it kind of is just different week to week.
Yeah. Fall is also lovely.
And fall's really nice
it's
too.
Just for me, like January, February, March, where I'm just like, get me out of here.
And I think that's why like you feel like, okay, spring is coming, summer's coming. And the years where it doesn't really come, you're like, oh, that's so disappointing.
Yeah. But I will also say, like, I have had years where I'm like, yes, give me this summer weather. And then the summer weather comes and I'm like, I'd be fine with it cooling off a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just the torrential downpours, like the surprise, like what they call them cloud bursts that I'm like, oh, can we not?
Right. And then it's beautiful. I always say like when the weather's great, Denmark is like there's nowhere you'd rather be than
it's
like
so magical.
On the harbor in Copenhagen or on like Fanø or like some island. Like it's just on the beach, like hiking, whatever you want to do. Like you can do a lot of things in the summer here, whether it's a music festival or just enjoying
being outside.
Being outside.
Like just standing on the sidewalk. You're like, this is glorious. Yeah.
But you need to have like a hoodie with you and a rain jacket and your sunglasses and maybe boots, you don't know what you're gonna find.
But you tell this to like any like elderly Danish woman and they'll be like, the only way you can appreciate these good days is if we have the bad days. I'm like, I don't know.
I'd appreciate it. I feel like people in like Southern California would find a way to disagree with that.
I agree. But I think it's a nice thing to tell yourself to make you feel better about having shitty weather.
It's like how like poor people like us say like money doesn't buy happiness, but then you see rich people looking really happy.
Yeah, like must be nice. But rich people are so weird. Yeah. No offense. If you're rich and watching this,
just keep listening.
Just keep listening and give us some money. Yeah. But no, I feel like super rich people are. Don't you think? We don't really have those in Denmark. No. But you probably, right?
No. The rich Danish people like moved to Dubai years ago.
Yeah. Tea.
Yes.
They're like, I can't deal with these poor people. There's too many poors here. That is so true. But rich people are weird. But anyway, that has nothing to do with summer. I could probably have a really nice summer if I was super rich, but that's cool.
Yeah, and you would still go cycling into music festivals and spend time outside, like drinking wine in a park, that's what I think of with Danish summer.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, and that doesn't suck. Like
that does not suck.
Nice.
It's so nice. So yeah, we've got the beaches. Okay, but what I was gonna say, you're saying there's so much stuff to do, which I totally agree. It's so fun, but all of my friends are gone.
That's another tough part.
Yeah, I have nothing fun to do with my friends. I'm like doing it with my kids, and they're like, "This is not my idea."
Who are like your friends, but they have to be
exactly
because you feed them.
Exactly, and they're like in my ear talking about like Minecraft and Fortnite. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
that's not a very cultured experience. I'm trying to enjoy my wine.
Exactly. Like we saw some friends yesterday, and then
cute.
Yeah, and it was super nice.
Adults.
But then they're like, we're leaving for 3 weeks in Portugal. Like, love that for them. That's great. They're gonna have fun. And it's like, okay, so we won't see you for 3 weeks. Oh, and then you're back right when we go on holiday. So then we'll be gone. And it's like, yeah, some of our closest friends, it's like you end up not seeing
1,000,000%.
If you have like mismatched summer holidays, then you're not seeing your friends for the entire summer.
Well, that, and then winter comes around and then you're all like holed up and not seeing each other much either. Right. So if you are in Denmark, you have to be like one of those friends that can like go a few months without talking or seeing each other and just be like, we can pick up where we left off. It's all good. Because summer is like that. Like I have a friend that's out of town right now and somebody was like, when's she getting back? And I was like, I can't even conceptualize it because it makes me too sad to think about. So I'll see her when I see her and that's going to work.
The other thing, whether you think it sucks or not though, is that then you have all of these other people showing up called tourists.
Yeah, bless them.
So It's not that lonely because
you are seeing people. You will see people. You will see people. And you know what? It's great. We obviously love that for the economy and giving us many jobs. And we cannot have Copenhagen without tourism. And obviously a huge part of our platform is like motivating people to come and visit Copenhagen and Denmark. So that's great.
And there's new UNESCO sites in Denmark now. And apparently they've been like mobbed.
Yeah, really?
So, yeah.
Okay, so what are some new ones? Do you know?
I think that I was hoping you wouldn't have any follow-ups because
darn.
I have not done this
I feel like I know I've seen some things be deemed like UNESCO sites recently.
I want to say they're like Viking or like maybe pre-Viking, like burial grounds or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah. So I've not been mobbing it yet, so I don't know.
Yeah. I think it'd be so cool. I'm sure they are, but I think it'd be so cool for tourists to obviously check out Copenhagen, but like go all over. Do like a road trip.
Yelling?
No.
Okay. I won't say it right in the Danish way, but it's like the Yelling Stones where like
that's great.
and it's the rune stones that are like on the inside of like Danish passports and stuff. Like it was like Harold Bluetooth and Gorm the Old. Like they have these like rune stones. Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool site.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's sort of like this really cool crossroads in Danish history because it's like where they first said we are Denmark. And
whoa, that's
like,
so cool.
Yeah, and so Gorm the Old was like believed in like the Norse religion, and then Harold Bluetooth like became Christianized.
Oh, weird.
To basically make sure that they could stay on good terms with like Christendom south of them, you know? So like basically had to, but like didn't push it on anybody, which was like so nice. Yeah.
That's iconic. Yeah. What a thing. That's so interesting. So Norse religion, do you know? It's just a little sidetrack, but this is something I am so curious about because I have seen a few horror movies, you know, for instance, Midsummer, and then there's this other one that I saw called The Ritual. Have you seen that?
No.
It's about these guys. They like go on a camping trip in Sweden for this guy's 40th birthday. It scared me so much. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but like I literally, if I see like a lot of sticks close together or like sticks in a formation, I get so freaked out. Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about because I think there were elements of that in the Blair Witch Project.
Right.
If you remember that. Again, dating myself like
no,
from the 90s.
For sure. Yeah. But
they
probably like drew, I don't know. I feel like there's all these like scary like Norse mythological creatures that they like craft out of sticks and like it looks, anyway.
Oh,
it's
like
so
those like those horse things that you see in all the souvenir shops? Yes.
Yes, you're scaring me. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that can be that can suck about all
that can really suck about that. Like, but do you know much about Norse mythology, religion? Like, what is it? Mostly just like paganism.
Well, yeah, but I think that word can get you canceled now. I don't
know. Really?
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe. I think some people don't like that. I think they
valid.
I don't know.
Well, yeah,
somebody's always offended, but I think
valid. Yeah, well, I'm so curious if somebody wants to let us know.
Because it still is a religion that people follow. Yeah,
I feel like I see a lot of people on TikTok like talking about pagan vibes. I feel like Denmark is so pagan vibes.
Yeah,
and summer seems to be like a great time for that. Yeah. Like you know, St. Hans.
Because a lot of pagan? It all has to. Yeah, because I think it all comes from like these celestial. Holiday things. You know the solstice, obviously.
Totally. Yeah.
And more of like just kind of like that nature.
Yeah, I think people really have an interesting, especially Americans have like an interesting perception of Denmark. And I wonder if they realize like how pagan it is. Like people are like, oh, it's so cute how much they celebrate Christmas. I'm like, it's literally called Yule, which is like the pagan word for like Christmas or whatever. The winter solstice. Like the winter solstice. Yeah. It's very solstice based. So summer seems to be a really good time for the Danish pagans, Norse mythological followers.
Yeah, and to kind of get in touch. Yeah, because so much of it is like
bring the summer, so we have the harvest. Yes. I don't know,
something like that.
It seems to be like really based around making sure that we've got enough food, which is valid.
Yeah, and that's important. But there's different summer foods too, like cold-skull.
Yeah, do you like cold-skull?
I have tried it. It's okay.
It's so sour.
Yeah, it's see, I like that.
Yeah. Okay, love. That's great. I was expecting it to be, you know, they're like, this is my favorite summer dessert. And I'm like, I don't know. It just tastes kind of like a breakfast to me.
I agree. I was going to say it just gives me kind of like cereal vibes.
Yeah,
I hate
which
to
is
say
cute.
that, like,
I know,
because I don't
sorry.
want to, that sounds like I'm cheapening like a Danish,
I know.
like food
I think
tradition.
they can like, they've got like the home baked kamajunker, which are like the little cookies
Yes,
that
and
you
you put the
in.
cookies in them. Yeah, so I haven't done it with that. I've only done it with, I think, fruit.
You've got to try it with the
Yeah.
kamajunker. Yeah, cold skull in and of itself. So if you guys don't know what it is, cold skull is like something, it translates to cold bowl, which is like supposedly a summer delicacy in Denmark. And it's basically like this like soured milk, soured buttermilk product.
We're really selling it here.
Yeah, delish. Well, we always talk about how like Denmark, a lot of Danish culinary
traditions of Denmark.
Yeah. I would say, and no shame and no shade, are like based on, would you say poverty or what?
Sort of.
Not really. It's like more like obviously it has a lot to do with the climate, food availability, sometimes the socioeconomic status. But okay,
it tends to be, I think,
I
like,
love to digress, apparently.
I think a good way to put it is like, it's a lot of Danish food is like simple food, but done really well.
Love that. Yes.
And
so you can get like a really gourmet cold skull.
Yeah.
So cold skull, it refers to the dish as a whole, but also cold skull is the soured milk product that's like you only see it in stores in the spring, summer, and it's got like a vanilla lemon flavor. Yeah. And so you pour that in a bowl and then you add what's called kamajunker, which are the little cookies. And you put that on top, and then you eat it with a spoon. I like to add Danish strawberries, which I do think are the best I've ever had personally.
Yeah, I've had it with fruit. Yeah, I had it with like strawberries and I think raspberries. Yeah, it was super good.
Yeah. Have you tried to make Huldeblom's saft, elderflower cordial?
Okay. No, I do like the elderflower flavor because that's not something we really.
I know. It's very cute. It makes me feel like very cottage core. Yeah. I love that. But one time
I like it in a martini.
Oh, that's cute. Do you do with gin or vodka?
With gin.
Yeah,
it
that's
goes good
nice.
with gin, I think.
Yeah. I do like that. So something that I've done with making Huldeblom's saft is, have you seen videos on how to make it? I've got a video on how to make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can literally like go to the park and just like snip elderflower blossoms off, and then you like pour boiling water over it and a ton of sugar and some lemon, and then you have all these like preservatives and stuff. And then you leave it in the fridge for a while, and then you put it in a bottle, and it's delicious, right? But giving it to my kids and myself, it like triggered all of our allergies.
Oh no!
We were like itching, like we're like, why do we have rashes all over us? Because it's just like so obviously so like pollen-y, you know. But it's delicious. So we stick to the more like processed, pasteurized elderflower flavors. But it was really fun to try making. I recommend it. Cool. If you don't have bad allergies, I recommend making it.
So that's another con of Danish summer.
Yeah,
allergies.
it's like pro and con.
Yeah, pro and con. Like pro, you get a delicious elderflower.
Oh, yeah, that okay.
experience.
So the allergies. Yeah, do you deal with allergies here?
I did. I had nasal polyp surgery 2 years ago,
you?
and it got a lot better.
No way. Did you get that here in Denmark?
I got it here in Denmark. Yeah.
Was it covered by the?
It was.
What did you do? Like spill the tea.
Okay. Also, this is a good thing for anybody international listening because it's something that Danes know, but like I did not. Which was I went to my doctor. Finally, I got a referral to do allergy testing, and they're like, nothing came up. And then for like another 18 months, I just did nothing. And then I was complaining to a former colleague about it, who was my colleague at the time. And he was Danish, and he was like, you can just go to the ear, nose, throat doctor.
Yeah, you don't need a referral.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I guess my doctor assumed that I knew that too. So then I went, and then everything, then started moving.
Cool.
But it's also
the ENT was covered.
The ENT was covered.
Love. That's so great. Okay, so
and I think again, it's just like one of those things that I wish I knew because it probably would have saved me some time. I would have done everything sooner.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was also just the other thing I think with healthcare here, we're really going distant from summer, but allergy related.
Yeah, try getting into the doctor in the summer. Am I right?
It's going to be winter by the time you do, and it was.
Okay,
but just realizing that just like everything, you really have to like keep pushing and advocating for yourself.
1,000,000%. Yes.
So just these things that I learned over time.
That's so good to know about because that's so good to know. I'm going to tell my husband, he really struggles with allergies year round, but I feel great fall, winter, spring, no issues. Summer rolls around and I have allergies and I basically feel like I have a cold all summer long.
This year might have been worse because I actually had problems. But the last 2 years since I had it, it's been no issue at all.
Okay, so that's so interesting.
I do wonder. I've heard people say that the summer was bad for allergies. However, you get to put another pro out there.
What's that?
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like they always say the grass is always greener, but I do feel like everything is so much greener when it first
it's crazy.
comes out.
Yeah.
Because of all the rain, I guess.
Yeah, I guess because the rain, but there is
another con. We're just going back and forth.
It's how do we decide? You know what? I feel like something about where we're positioned on the globe or something. The skies are bluer.
Yeah.
The trees and grass are greener. I don't know what it is.
And the sun burns you.
The sun burns you.
In 5 minutes.
Yeah. I love
and
it.
You're like, it wasn't even hot today.
I know, but I love it. I feel like I'm getting like an express tan. I feel like I see so many like elderly Danish women with like serious tans. And I'm like, what did they do? Do they just go outside for like 20 minutes a day?
I tan pretty easily. And I feel like every time I see people, when all I've done is like been outside, like maybe all I did outside that day was like go for a run and I got 30 minutes of sun and that was it. And people are like, wow, you're so tan. Were you away? And I'm like, no.
Away outside for 30 minutes.
I ran around the lakes.
Do you use SPF?
I do. I use SPF every day on my face.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And still you tan. I feel
even
like
in the winter. Yeah.
Right now I'm using a gradual tan lotion and I'm just not getting that Danish sun this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk before, and then we'll wrap this up and come up with a decision. But I'm curious about, as a parent, what it goes through. Because I'm just imagining, and I hear this from people that have smaller kids, that like it's so hard to keep the kids on a regular bedtime when the sun is up so late. And how's that go for you?
Good question.
Because that affects me, and I'm just imagining if I didn't have like the cognitive ability, not that my
I'll be like, it's bedtime. They're like, it's still daytime outside. I'm like, it's really not.
How do you fight them with that?
We have some blackout curtains, but not that they work. So like the little crevices between like the curtains, it's like blaring out
stand
sun. Gosh, honestly, I'm really lucky in that my daughter, who's 2, she like loves to go to bed for the most part. So she's like, let's go. She doesn't care what time it is. I like put her near the crib. She's like reaching for it. And now the boys are to an age where I'm just like, this is what I always tell my friends who have kids that maybe aren't sleeping so well. Like they'll sleep eventually. And if they don't, it gets to a point where it's like not your problem anymore. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm in with my kids. I'm like, you guys want to watch a movie? Great. I'm like hitting the sack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
you'll be
y'all
tired
deal
tomorrow
with
and we still have to do whatever.
Exactly. It is what it is. And for the most part, they're for the most part, they're fine. So maybe that makes me a bad mom, but
I don't think so. Like my nephews are the same. Like the 2 oldest, like I think my brother and my sister-in-law are basically like, okay, we're worried about the 3-year-old and the 1-year-old.
Exactly.
So like you're 10 and 7. If you're going to stay up, you don't have school. They have a different schedule in the summer, and they're allowed to do that.
I really want them to have that like summer feel and that like looseness of it. It is harder, with like say like a 3 and a 1-year-old, and even my 5, almost 6-year-old. I'm like, you should be sleeping more. Yeah. But you know, how do you say like, no, you 2 can stay up, and then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's fine. So I recommend blackout curtains and.
Patience.
And I mean, it's a very American thing to give your kids melatonin gummies. Not that I'm advocating for that or that's something that I do, but that's what I would do if I was in the US, and that might get me canceled.
That's fine.
It's crazy.
People can make their own healthcare decisions.
That 1,000,000%. It is a naturally occurring.
Can't wait for the comments.
Oh my gosh!
On the YouTube.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
But also, is your sister or your brother?
My brother.
Okay, your brother's kids. Do they give their kids melatonin or how?
I don't know if they do or not.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But I know that they would for like a
travel
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
It's really nice for that. Not that I would know in any capacity. So what do you think? Summer, does it suck?
Oh, does it suck? Okay, I think overall, summer is what you make it. And I think we covered a lot of things that are not so great.
Yeah.
But I think I stand by the one thing I said, which is that when the weather is great and you're outside enjoying, a drink with friends, dining out, going to a festival or something, and the weather is good, like there's nowhere I'd rather be than Denmark in the summer.
1,000,000%. Yeah.
But I also get why Danes leave and go somewhere where
Totally.
they guarantee themselves sun and a beach and warmth.
That's
I get
valid.
that. Yeah.
I'm looking for that in November and February.
Yes.
That's what I do. That's my plan. And I'm holding it down for the summers. I do love summers in Denmark. Maybe we get like 3 to 4 solid days of summer in Denmark, but I'm living for every one of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just what you make it. I totally agree.
Yeah.
So we're here. Yeah. Are you going anywhere else?
So yeah, I was in the US for like a week.
Yeah.
And that was, I saw family. It was so hot. It was like 35, what's that, like 90
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, like to the point where like on the last day we just had to be in air conditioning. It was like we couldn't be outside.
No,
so I
like
love
drained.
that you can be outside
Yeah.
most of the time in Denmark.
Windows open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then going to Warsaw to see Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. When is that?
That's in the beginning of August.
Okay, love.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, fun.
Yeah.
I've never been to Poland. I'm dying to go, actually.
It's great. It's so great.
I love Polish food.
It's so good. Yeah. And then going to the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
When is
in
that? I
Paris.
should know.
Also August.
That's fun.
Yeah.
How did you swing that?
Mike, my husband is like an Olympics fanatic.
Oh,
so,
cute. I love that.
So he was like, as soon as things went on sale, he was like, I'm just buying tickets. Yeah.
I love that. That's so
We
cool.
figured out the rest later. Yeah. So we have like these 2 very expensive weekend trips.
Great. Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're gonna like,
That's
there's
that.
our 3-week summer.
There you go. That's
holiday
perfect
budget.
though. That's
But
iconic actually.
yeah.
That's so cool. What is his favorite summer Olympic sport?
Oh yeah. So track and field, we definitely had to like athletics, I think they call it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
we're going to like
yeah.
one of the like final like medal nights. So we're gonna see like medal ceremonies for a few events, and then we're going to see the water polo.
Cute.
So we're going to the bronze medal match, and
I
then
love that.
I guess 5th place or something.
Yeah.
medal
So
match,
you have your medal ceremonies. I had my medal festival.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Summer in Denmark and Europe in general.
Yeah.
We love it.
So yeah, when it's nice, a gold medal. When it's not, it's still a good bronze.
A
I think.
solid bronze, honestly. So good. Oh my gosh.
Well, thanks for listening and watching, everybody, and enjoy your summer.
Enjoy it. That was so fun and silly. And I'm so glad you guys listened or watched wherever you are. Enjoy your summer. And
we'll
see you
be
soon.
right here with you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.